This video is for Jack, Kaiden, and Kennedy. I wanted to show you how my bees are doing. This is one of my two hives. This is the bigger of the two hives. There's probably about 4,000 bees in here, but they're growing. It needs to be a little more, maybe 6,000 to have a really healthy hive. Now you can see they're coming in and out, but the ones that are coming back have these little balls of pollen on their back legs, and they pick up the pollen and they store them in these little pouches on their back legs, and I call them pollen pockets. I think they're really cute. Bees have been around for about 30 million years, and they are the only insect that produce a product that humans can consume, and they make honey. Now they use honey as well, and beekeepers like me hope that they'll make so much honey that maybe we can get a little bit for ourselves during the year. But most important is that we leave the bees with enough honey to get them through the winter. If you watch the bees, you see the pollen they're bringing back is different colors. Some is gold, orange, there's some red, sometimes it'll be white. I've heard that there's green. I've never seen green, but I've heard, and I've seen pictures of it. All these bees you see coming in and out right now are females. They're the foraging bees, and each of them will visit 50 to 100 flowers per trip, and they'll go out and bring something back, unload it. There's other bees with other jobs inside the hive, and as soon as they've unloaded, they'll go out and they'll bring back more. If you watch the bees, you can see that they all look pretty similar, but they have different colors, different shades of orange. Sometimes they're really black. Their stripe patterns can be different. They're kind of neat. Now, honey is the only food source that contains all the nutrients you need to survive. So it's a very, very important food. And the bees have two stomachs. One stomach's for their normal food, but the other stomach is used to bring back nectar to the hive. And nectar is what they use to make honey. So they store the pollen that they bring back in those little pockets on their legs. Sometimes they're just covered in it too. But the nectar you can't see because it's inside their little nectar stomach. So, they have to go inside the hive and they unload. And there are bees that's job in the hive is to take that food from them and put it in different cells in their beehive comb. Now we all know that bees make a buzzing sound when they fly by us, and that buzzing sound is from their flapping wings, and they flap their wings about 200 times a second, and that's why they burn up so much energy. Bees have to work really, really hard to make enough honey to get their whole entire hive, which will be smaller by the time winter comes, but they have to have enough to get them all through the winter cold weather. And one single bee in its entire lifetime will only make 1/12 of a teaspoon of honey. So think about the little spoon that you use to eat ice cream or something, and divide that into 12 pieces. And one of those little 12 sections or pieces is all the honey that a bee will make in its entire lifetime, which during the summer is about 6 weeks. So the video is going to go back to normal speed real soon. I had slowed it down so you could maybe see the bees better, see the pollen better. But always remember that honeybees, there's many kinds of bees, but these are the only ones that make honey. They're relatively friendly as far as bees go, but they still sting. And they sting to protect themselves and their hive. So you never want to bother bees out in the wild or in somebody's yard if they keep bees. You always want to have an adult with you, and that adult should be giving you a jacket, a special jacket to wear that will prevent you from getting stung. You have. So I'm going to be quiet for a little while and just, I know, I'm never quiet. I talk too much. And I'll just let you watch the bees for maybe another minute. So I might have made this a little bit too long for you, but pretty soon the film is going to go back to normal high speed. And I had slowed it hoping that you could see what the bees were doing a little better and see how the little pockets on their legs are filled with pollen. Hopefully in the future I can do a video where I can show you inside their hive. And although this is an artificial one, I can show you how they have their honeycomb or their bee comb, and where they have put babies and where they put pollen and nectar and something they call bee bread, which is what they use to feed their babies. And maybe, who knows, maybe we'll get a little video of a bee emerging from its cell in the beehive. So always remember to be respectful of the bees. Honeybees, any kind of bee, they can sting, and stinging hurts, and you could be allergic. You must always be with an adult and wear a protective jacket.